led by Stan Humphries, making just his 9th start for San Diego. The big back is Merriam Butts. H-back Derek Walker. Wide out Anthony Miller. Nate Lewis made a miraculous recovery from a hip injury this week. He's back in there at wide receiver. The tight end Dwayne Young, and Swain, Moten, Paul Richards, and Broderick Thompson up front. That offensive line was abused a little bit by Kansas City last week, but here they are today. First down and 10 from the 22. The snow beginning to pick up here off the shores of Lake Erie. And Humphries will hand it off to his big back, Merriam Butts, who is stopped cold at the line of scrimmage by that swarming Browns defense. James Jones on the tackle. He's a part of that front 7 for Cleveland. Burnett, Michael Dean Perry, Anthony Pleasant, Brandon, Mike Johnson having a big year, number 59 for Cleveland, and the 15-year veteran right linebacker Clay Matthews. In the secondary, enjoyed probably their best game of the season last week in the Astrodome, anchored by the veteran Frank Minifield. Second down and 9, so give Merriam Butts a yard. Nate Lewis and Anthony Miller, the wideouts, and Humphries will throw. This is complete to Anthony Miller, trying to get up to the first down marker, but he should be short. Brought down by the left outside linebacker, David Brandon.
Yeah, I was checking Humphries' setup that time. Now, it's a very sloppy part of the field back there. Humphries kind of tiptoed back and set up. Miller's going to come from right to left across the screen on the left side right now, number 83, underneath a zone defense. You see the Browns had dropped back. So right now the Chargers are testing the short passing game. They only have a couple of yards to get their first down now.
Well, Ronnie Harmon is in the offensive set for San Diego on 3rd and a long yard. Delay. Ronnie Harmon is stripped to the football. It is loose, and Cleveland has it. Number 29, Eric Turner for the Browns, recovered. And the big right end, Anthony Pleasant, stripped the ball from Ronnie Harmon.
Well, Coach Bobby Ross mentioned the turnover factor being possibly the big issue today. Harmon simply gets stripped of that ball. Very nice defensive play, and then the Browns are all over it. Turnovers, turnovers. Boy, they are a major key.
The ball at the Charger 26-yard line. Mike Tomczak brings the team up to the line. He's 4-2 as the starting quarterback for Cleveland. And this is the big running back, Kevin Mack. We mentioned Mike Tomczak, still the quarterback for Cleveland. This was the target date for Bernie Kosar to return, but he is not quite ready. Eric Metcalf and the rookie Tommy Vardell in the backfield, and we will see a lot of Kevin Mack. The big wideouts, Michael Jackson and Sean Collins, and the clutch tight end receiver, Mark Bavaro. Up front it is Jones, Bob Dahl just making his 3rd NFL start. The veteran at center, Jay Hilgenberg, and Ed King and Dan Fike. So a gain of 5 for Mack. 2nd down and 5 Cleveland. And this is Mack again. Close to the first down at about the 15. Brought down by Sean Van Horst.
Evan Mack showing us some speed to the outside, huh? There's that big tough front 7, Dan.
Well, Bert Grossman, they thought he wouldn't be able to play this week along with wide receiver Nate Lewis, but he has an ankle injury. He will go as long as he can. Leslie O'Neal leads the team with 8 sacks, and Junior Seau, keep an eye on number 55 for San Diego, and Gilbert, the veteran, anchors the defensive secondary. Sean Van Horst getting another start for Tony Blaylock, who is still out with an injured ankle. On 3rd and 1, this is Mack, and he is very close. Brought down by the strong safety Floyd Fields, along with Gary Plummer, the inside linebacker for San Diego.
You know, the running game is going to be so important today, and these Cleveland Browns with Kevin Mack have one of the premier runners in this kind of weather. They also have the advantage of switching things up, and Coach Bill Belichick will do that with his core of running backs.
They're also in the part of the field where the baseball field has some new grass in that part, and the field is going to be slippery with the snow and wetness to it, but especially in this red zone where the Browns are right now, the footing not so sure. Kevin Mack again on the 1st and 10 carry across the 15-yard line to about the 13, and Bert Grossman, who had to leave last week's game because of an ankle injury. It looked very serious, but he is back in the starting lineup for San Diego, and he's one of those guys, Joe, that does not like to miss a game. In fact, he's missed just one game in his 3.5 seasons in San Diego, so Bert does not like to be left off the football field.
Every time I look at Bert, I get a chuckle. He's a real character. He's got a great sense of humor. He loves the game of football, but more than anything, he is some kind of character out there.
Probably one of the best interviews in the NFL as well. It is 2nd down and 9 for Cleveland, trying to take advantage of an early San Diego fumble. Tomczak has time, has Reggie. Royer Tillman, number 85, wasn't able to come up with it. Sean Van Horst, the right cornerback, on the defense for the Chargers.
Well, Tomczak had his wide receiver on the right side of the screen, and I don't know that the ball doesn't go right through Tillman's hands. Tomczak told us yesterday, and I was a little bit high. Fortunately, it wasn't intercepted for the Browns. This Charger defense is impressive. I'll tell you, the Browns are going to have to be successful throwing because the Charger defense is not going to allow them to sustain a running game.
Well, it's been 8 quarters since they've allowed a passing touchdown, and on 3rd down and 9, Tomczak works out of the shotgun. It looks like there was some movement on the line, so the officials whistle it dead.
Yeah, you wonder why it wasn't whistled dead initially, you know, because the Chargers jumped offside, but to protect the quarterback in that situation, I'm sure the referee blew the whistle.
Our referee, Ed Hockley, to make the call.
False start. I'm sorry. Encroachment by the defense prior to the snap. Number 93. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
He's sorry. How do you think Bobby Ross feels? There's the left side. You see contact is made on Jay Hilgenberg, the center at least, and when that contact's made by the defense, Bobby Ross's Chargers are going to be charged for 5 yards.
And instead of a 3rd down and 9, that has made it 3rd down and 4 for Cleveland. They're at the 9-yard line of San Diego. Tomczak going across the middle, intercepted by Darren Carrington, number 29, and he's got a lot of room and one man to beat. Across the 30, down inside the 25-yard line. So Darren Carrington, the 4th-year man at a Northern Arizona University, steps inside and goes 71 yards on the interception from Mike Tomczak.
Carrington read Tomczak like, well, you know, a book, I guess. The receiver's open there for a while, 83, but you see Carrington was just laying in the grass and now takes it down the sidelines. The Chargers got away with the push in the back down here, but what a great play by Carrington, and certainly Metcalf getting back there to stop the touchdown.
Yes, Eric Metcalf, number 21, saving a touchdown, the 3rd interception of the year for Carrington, and now San Diego is in business from the Brown 26-yard line, 1st and 10. Marion Butts, the lone setback. Ronnie Harmon in the offensive set as well, and Butts can't hang on to that Stan Humphries pass. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
You know, talking again with these Chargers yesterday, they have an offense now that not only is capable of running the ball at you with powerful backs, especially Butts, but Bobby Ross has a passing attack that the Chargers haven't had in the past, at least since Dan Fouts' days anyway. Stan Humphries is improving week to week. He's also utilizing an audibleizing system that's putting him in better plays.
Ronnie Harmon split to the far side on 2nd down and 10. Humphries looking for Nate Lewis. Incomplete. Terry Taylor made an outstanding defensive play for the Browns.
Yes, and you saw how Mother Nature comes into play there too. That football just hung in the air. Stan Humphries, a strong passer, used to this kind of weather because of his Washington Redskin days, throws the ball in the air, and then the wind just starts twisting it around. It's flight lost. You see it like a quail being shot in the air and coming down, and it's the good defensive play. The defender's able to react. Terry Taylor was able to get back there because of the wind.
3rd down and 10. Humphreys to throw again. This time he's looking to the left side, and this time it is complete to Shawn Jefferson, and touchdown San Diego. 26 yards.
What a beautiful pass by Humphreys that time. My goodness, he went to the other side of the field where the wind didn't seem to bother the ball. Bill Belichick already knows that his team has a long day ahead if they don't stop this passing game.
So on 3rd down and 10, Stan Humphreys, and not the best of throwing conditions you could ask for. Swirling winds here in Cleveland Stadium. Hooks up with the 2nd-year man out of Central Florida. And now John Carney is in to try to put the Chargers up 7-0. The holder is the punter, John Kidd. So the San Diego Chargers at the 9:36 mark of the 1st quarter here in Cleveland Stadium strike first. Stan Humphreys to Shawn Jefferson. They lead it 7-0. Get the winter wonderland in Cleveland Stadium, where the San Diego Chargers were able to strike first. Both teams giving up turnovers on their first series of the game. And Shawn Jefferson gets the touchdown pass from Stan Humphreys. It was set up by a 71-yard fumble return by Darren Carrington.
Interception, Dan. Remember, Carrington got, I guess, Tom Zach's only 3rd interception since he's been with the Browns.
And now, John Carney to kick off for San Diego. Heavy snow last night. It had subsided just minutes before kickoff. And then the swirling winds off Lake Erie have brought back the snow as Carney kicks off. And it is taken by Randy Baldwin. He's across the 25, has some good room on the left side. And he'll get all the way up to the 28-yard line, where the Browns will have 1st and 10. Stanley Richard made the tackle. So Mike Tomczak coming off just his 3rd interception of the year. He came into the game giving up just 2 interceptions in his 129 passes he'd gone without giving up an interception, and that has really been his role with Cleveland. Don't turn the ball over, and Mike Tomczak has done a stellar job of that until the pickoff just a few moments ago. Vardell and Horde in the game for Cleveland. The ball on the 29, and the pitch to the rookie out of Stanford, Tommy Vardell, who will be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Number 55, Junior Seau, just beginning his day today.
You've got to get a helmet on Junior Seau. Seau will credit his defensive lineman for keeping the blockers off him. There you see an example of Seau's explosiveness, able to get through the line with his speed and make the tackle in the backfield.
Well, Bill Belichick doesn't talk a lot about opposing players, but he really built up Junior Seau in the press this week. He thinks Junior Seau is the best defensive player he's faced all season, and really one of the best he has faced in his coaching career. 2nd down and 9. Tomczak, the pass complete to Michael Jackson. It's across the 40-yard line. The Chargers think they've recovered a fumble. But apparently it'll look like the ball will be called down, and that is what the referee has indicated. A gain of 13 from Michael Jackson on the pass play.
A nice throw and a nice catch by Jackson, running a short post pattern to the inside. Ball's up now. It's a nice catch. Let's see if he does lose control of the ball here before he hits the ground. It's awful close. It doesn't make any difference these days. Hey, the snow is really coming down now.
It is swirling again on 1st and 10. The Browns at the 40. This is Kevin Mack, and he is met by the Charger front line, Leslie O'Neal, the big right end, a 6-year veteran out of Oklahoma State, leading that charge. And we talked off the top of the show, Joe, the strides that this Charger defense has made, and Leslie O'Neal really one of the mainstays of it.
Oh, one of the #1 draft choices they have in that defensive group, and they all give credit to new defensive coordinator Bill Arnsberger, the wily tactician, a great teacher. He puts his players in the right place. He gives them a confidence out there. They believe in Bill Arnsberger, their new defensive coordinator.
Arnsberger left an athletic director job in Florida to come to this. On 2nd down and 8, Tomczak fires through the snow, and Michael Jackson couldn't hang on to it. And I imagine the conditions in the last couple of minutes or so have really gotten bad. The receivers having a tough time finding the ball.
Finding the ball, possibly. The ball changes direction a little bit, but this pass certainly should still be caught by a top-notch professional, no doubt. Tomczak was right on target. Getting good pass protection back there, too.
So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 8. Rather, a 3rd down and 13 for Tomczak, and he'll work out of the shotgun. 7-0 San Diego, 6:56 mark of the first quarter, and Tomczak will throw, and Eric Metcalf juggled it and got a hand on it and makes the reception. Henry Rowley made the stop.
I hate that play, Dan. I mean, they need 13 yards, and they throw it to, sure, an elusive receiver in Metcalf, but he's only running a turn pattern about 8 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards deep. I don't know what they expect to get out of that pass. Certainly not first down yardage.
Well, Eric Bieniemy, the 2nd-year man out of Colorado who didn't play last week because of an ankle injury, is back deep for San Diego to receive the punt from Brian Hansen. A poor punt. Drops at the 25-yard line, and Cleveland will down it at the 22-yard line. So that's where the Chargers will start. First down and 10 when we return to snowy Cleveland Stadium after these messages.
At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
Well, we hope you're bundled up and toasty warm wherever you are. We are at Cleveland Stadium, and they have put the clock back at 6:08. It run down to 5:41. So we are now at the 6:08 mark of the first quarter. The Chargers up 7-0. As Stan Humphries found Sean Jefferson for the touchdown pass that was set up by an interception return by Darren Carrington. So 1st and 10 San Diego from the 22. Humphries pass complete to Ronnie Harmon, who's up to the 30-yard line before he's brought down. Ronnie Harmon in his 7th year out of Iowa, really the go-to guy on long 3rd down and long situations for San Diego. His 43rd reception of the year. That leads the team.
You know, for this kind of weather, the passing attack can be very good because the offensive people know where they're going. The defensive people have to stop and react. Plus, the defensive line has a tough time getting footing to rush the quarterback.
Gain of 9 for Harmon. This is Marion Butts.
Marion Butts, the ball carrier.
And he'll pick up the first down for San Diego. James Jones, the left tackle for Cleveland, made the stop. Marion Butts re-aggravated a knee injury last week. He had to leave the game in the 4th quarter against San Diego. He was not expected to be 100%, but he has since made strides in practice this week. So the big 6'1", 248-pounder in his 4th year out of Florida State will probably see a lot of action today, especially in these weather conditions. 1st and 10, ball on the 35. Humphries throws on first down and is complete to Anthony Miller for another first down. So Anthony Miller makes first reception of the game. David Brandon and Eric Turner on the stop. 13-yard gain for Miller.
Well, on the right side of the screen, Anthony Miller is going to break under Frank Minifield. You see the pass protection is excellent there. The defensive line having a problem with their footing, trying to put pressure on the quarterback.
Miller off to the best start of his career. He's already got 3 touchdowns for 657 yards. Stan Humphries on 1st and 10 from the 49. And that was complete to Marion Butts. He's across the 45 and gets more first down yardage well into Cleveland territory.
I tell you, the San Diego offense is different than what the Browns have been facing recent weeks. You see, the Browns did a wonderful job against the run and shoot last week, but this San Diego Charger team, there you see Butts sneaking out of the backfield. This Charger team has a balanced offense these days. Not only a running game that Cleveland has to contend with, but also a passing game, basically because of Stan Humphries.
Well, that's exactly what the players and coaches told us, Joe, that preparing for San Diego's offense was even more difficult as opposed to Houston's run and shoot. Marion Butts across the 35. He's inside of it.
The tackle by Bill Johnson.
And that's about a gain of 5 or 6. Bill Johnson and Clay Matthews made the stop for Cleveland.
Nice little cutback type run by Butts. What the offense tries to do in these conditions is get the defense heading in one direction and then have their back run a counter. The defense can't stop and react quickly enough.
Gain of 5 for Butts on 2nd down and 5. And here is Marion Butts again, this time slipping and falling short of the first down marker. Michael Dean Perry slanted in there to trip him up. Michael Dean
in the backfield by Michael Dean Perry.
In his 5th year out of Clemson, the only Brown named to the Pro Bowl last year, his 3rd straight trip.
Boy, that's where they do a lot of tough work, right down there in the pit. Number 92, Michael Dean Perry, out there in short sleeves today, folks. You think he isn't tough, huh?
So on 3rd down and 3, the Cleveland Stadium crowd coming to life. Ronnie Harmon in motion to the right side. Stan Humphries stripped to the ball, fumbles. That was Bill Johnson applying the pressure.
Bill Johnson, and credit that secondary of the Cleveland Browns for covering the receivers. No one was open. You'll see Humphries has plenty of time to go downfield, but those receivers are covered, so he gets out of there, but not before Bill Johnson can knock the ball loose. Hey, that was a nice recovery by Stan Humphries.
And Eric Metcalf on 4th and 13 stands at his 10-yard line to retrieve the punt from John Kidd. And Metcalf will call for the fair catch at the 11-yard line. So with 1:41 to go in the first quarter, San Diego leads it 7-0. And we'll be back to the shores of chilly Lake Erie in a moment. Chargers with an early 7-0 lead over Cleveland. 1:41 to go in the first quarter. And a reminder that next Sunday, right here on NBC Sports, an action-packed NFL doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. And many of you will see these Cleveland Browns take on the Minnesota Vikings, a battle of tough defenses. Others see the Oilers take on the Dolphins or the Colts and Pittsburgh. And in the second half of our doubleheader, a classic AFC West rivalry has the Denver Broncos and the LA Raiders. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. 1st and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. They trail at 7-0, and they'll leave it on the ground here as Kevin Mack plows into the San Diego defense. Blaze Winter and Henry Rolling ran into him.
Well, Mike Tomczak hasn't been throwing interceptions, but he says he's not going to get shy. In other words, he's going to keep throwing aggressively. Well, he had the big interception earlier, which may have been because he was throwing aggressively. I don't know. But he's going to have some big plays from his wide receivers. And if these guys don't make the big plays, they're going to have a long day on offense.
And that was the first interception that he has thrown since the Denver game, a span of 129 passes. And this is Eric Metcalf.
Eric Metcalf, the ball carrier.
Stopped by George Thornton, so that'll bring up 3rd down for Cleveland and a good 8 yards.
Eric Metcalf. Coach Bobby Ross of the Chargers was worried about this man. He says when he's in the game, we key on Metcalf because he's so explosive. You know that the football should be in his hands, so we're going to key on him.
Clock running at 23 seconds left in the first quarter. On 3rd and 8. Tomczak's pass in and out of the hands of Eric Metcalf, and Frank Donald had a chance for an interception. But a flag has been thrown on the play in the defensive secondary of San Diego.
Well,
the call is against Cleveland.
surprised me a little bit being in the secondary. Anytime you see a flag in the secondary, you normally expect the defense to be.
Pass interference on the offense, number 85. The penalty is declined, brings up 4th down.
No, he pointed the wrong way. He had pass on the offense and pointed to San Diego.
Well,
The enemy beat for the
Chargers, of course, declined the penalty to bring up the 4th down and 8, and Brian Hansen stands at his goal line, and Eric Bieniemy is back at the 42-yard line of San Diego. Bieniemy from the 41, and he is met by Leroy Hoare. 45-yard punt, no return, and Bieniemy never had a chance. The Chargers up 7-0, just 9 seconds left here in the first quarter from Cleveland. On top 7-0, closing seconds of the first quarter. There is quarterback Stan Humphries for the San Diego Chargers, making just his 14th start in his 5-year NFL career, and he has turned into more than just a backup quarterback for John Freeze, who was injured in the preseason. No one in the NFL has thrown for more yards in the past couple of weeks than Stan Humphries. Ronnie Harmon and Derek Walker in the offensive set for San Diego at the 40-yard line. Humphries pass batted down at the line of scrimmage by Bill Johnson, the backup left tackle, the rookie out of Michigan State.
That's a part of the pass defense that the quarterback doesn't count on normally. You know, you look downfield, you're reading linebackers, you're reading defensive backs, then you go to the receiver you like, and at the top of the screen right here, you see it, the big old defensive lineman Bill Johnson get up there and knock it down.
Bill Belichick likes the look of Bill Johnson, his young defensive lineman. This is Eric Bieniemy around the right side. Maybe a yard for San Diego, but that's about it. David Brandon made the stop. We're through the first quarter. San Diego leads it here in Cleveland, 7-0. Back at Cleveland Stadium, Bobby Ross and Bill Belichick, the respective coaches for the Browns and Chargers, have done outstanding jobs at digging their teams out of early holes. Bobby Ross's Chargers lost their first 4. The Browns lost 3 out of their first 4. Both teams have won 4 out of their last 5, including an unbeaten string in October, and both teams have designs on playoff berths this season. On 3rd down and 8, Stan Humphries takes a deep drop, comes up, and it's incomplete, intended for the wide receiver Nate Lewis.
Once again, excellent coverage by that secondary of the Cleveland Browns. Newsome and the rest of his guys back there. Vince Newsome, one of the veterans in this secondary, has done a fine job. It looks like there's some opening back here on the camera. You watch, it looks like the receiver Miller might be open, but Stan Humphries has other things on his mind. He wanted to go somewhere else, and then he was forced out of the pocket.
And that will bring up the 4th and long situation. John Kidd to punt, and Eric Metcalf stands on his own 16. Metcalf to take the wobbler at the 20, and he is met by number 29, Darren Carrington. And we'll be back to Cleveland in a moment. Namath back in the opening seconds of the second quarter here at Cleveland Stadium. And a reminder, coming up next Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, the Gatorade Ironman Triathlon, as all the top triathletes from around the world get to test their endurance in a little bit different conditions than are here in Cleveland. It's the rugged Kona coast. They'll run a marathon through the lava fields to end it off. That coming after a 2.5-mile swim, followed by a 112-mile bike race. It's the Gatorade Ironman Triathlon next Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Darren Carrington, who you just saw make an excellent special teams tackle and that Charger first offensive touchdown of the game, returned an interception 71 yards to set up the Stan Humphries to Sean Jefferson touchdown catch. So the fourth-year man at a Northern Arizona University with his third interception of the season. And now San Diego trying to stop the Cleveland offense. 1st and 10 from the 20. Tom Zach with a play action, whips to his right, and he was looking for Leroy Horde at the 50-yard line. Floyd Fields, the strong safety, came up with a football and the interception for San Diego.
Well, I'll tell you, that was just a bad play by Tom Zach. I don't think you expect Leroy Horde to be able to adjust to the pass as well as he was covered as his wide receivers might be. He's under some pressure, but there's just excellent coverage on the outside right now, and Leroy Horde just not able to make the adjustment.
We talked to Mike Tomczak yesterday, and he got away with a couple in Houston last week. Just had the 2 interceptions coming into the game, but floated that one, and Floyd Fields picks up San Diego's second interception of the game, his first of the season. And now the Chargers, from just inside of Cleveland's territory in the 1st down and 10 call, Eric Bieniemy gets it, and he'll pick up some pretty good yardage. He's inside the 45-yard line before Frank Minifield, the veteran left cornerback for Cleveland, comes up to make the stop. And a Brown player on the field, that is Michael Dean Perry, who has had knee problems this year. He had knee surgery in June before re-injuring it in the first game, and hopefully he has not re-injured it. We have an injury timeout, and we'll be back to Cleveland Stadium to check on Michael Dean Perry in a moment.
Starter. Look for the stars and you'll find Starter. By Pringles. So fresh, once you pop, you can't stop. By Black & Decker, the source of powerful gift ideas. And by Mitsubishi, bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
And the wind continuing to whip here at chilly Cleveland Stadium. Michael Dean Perry, the Pro Bowl right tackle for Cleveland, taken off the field in the last play. Pio Sengapulatelli has taken his spot at the tackle position. And this is Eric Bieniemy on a carry for San Diego on a 2nd down and 5 call. He may have got a couple to bring up 3rd down in about 2. And Sengapulatelli gets some action right off the bat. He is in on the tackle there for Cleveland.
Yeah, he's a good player, but he's not Michael Dean Perry. Michael Dean Perry hurt that right knee. Now, Sengapulatelli's a pretty good load out there, 297. But once again, folks, Michael Dean Perry, it's very special. The nickel or dime defense is now in the game for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, Brian Brennan, the former Cleveland Brown, is in the offensive set now for San Diego as Stan Humphries goes back to pass. But this pass is underthrown, and this one is intercepted. Frank Minifield picks it off, and he'll get down to the 15-yard line. Career interception number 19 for the 9-year veteran out of Louisville.
A nice catch out there by Minifield. You see him stretch up there and get the underthrown pass. Had the ball been thrown, with a little more air under it, there would have been a chance at the completion, but Minifield ate it up because it was underthrown. Humphreys got to be a little bit frustrated, a little bit angry at himself for underthrowing that pass. This is what happens to quarterback after an interception, folks. These defensive players hunt you up and try to get you.
Well, that was the third interception of the game. We've seen 2 for San Diego, and Frank Minifield comes up with the first INT for Cleveland. Kevin Mack gets the call on 1st down and 10 from the 20. So the turnover story already evident with 13 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, turnovers only mean something, I think, when you can get something out of them. So far, the Chargers got a touchdown out of their turnover, and the Browns haven't been able to cash in.
2nd down and 8. The ball is at the 17-yard line as Tomczak fades back, lofts one up downfield, incomplete, intended for Lawyer Tillman. Sean Van Horst, the right cornerback, in on the play defensively for San Diego.
You know, a younger quarterback than Tomczak, who's been around 8 years, may be a little bit intimidated after having thrown 2 interceptions. I don't think Mike Tomczak's going to let those 2 interceptions bother him. He's a tough kid. You know, he played up here at Chicago under Mike Ditka. He was released by the Packers. His emotions took a beating. Then he got his opportunity to come here at the Browns, and he's been playing well. So those first 2 interceptions, I think he'll just shake those off, not let them affect him.
Well, Mike Tomczak proven he can win 29 and 18 as a career starter, but in a 3rd down and 8 situation here, flag on the play, and the officials will stop it.
This is the kind of thing that shouldn't happen to your offense. Things should be
Delay
more
of the game
efficient.
by the offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Coach Belichick can't be too happy with that. You see, I say the offense should be more efficient in getting their plays out there and getting the ball snapped. It's one thing to have a 3rd down and 8 as opposed to a 3rd down and 13, and that was just a real foul up. Tomczak got the play too late.
Mike Tomczak just 2 of 8 for 18 yards here in the early going. He's thrown a couple of interceptions already.
You know, they're already down to 8 seconds on the clock as well to get this next play off.
Inside 5 seconds. And with 1 second left, they get the play off. Tomczak's pass complete to Lawyer Tillman. Very close to the 1st down. In fact, I think he may have dove to get it. Gain of 15 yards and a 1st down on a 3rd down and 15 situation for Cleveland. Lawyer Tillman picks up the 1st down.
Oh, Tillman in the center of your screen toward the right side now just finds an open spot in a zone coverage underneath and picks up the 1st down. But Mike Tomczak is able to stand in that pocket under pressure, takes a hit, but he delivers it on target. Boy, I tell you, when you hit the back of your head on the ground like that, it's a sudden jar you don't like to feel.
Ball on the 28. The Browns trailing the Chargers 7-0. And this is Eric Metcalf. Good room across the 35-yard line. Van Horst, the right cornerback for San Diego, made the stop, but not before Metcalf picked up 11 yards and another 1st down for the Browns.
I know, Metcalf, nice run. Junior Seau was throwing a fit out there. He felt like he was being held or clipped. He ran back over to the Brown huddle and told somebody, don't be doing that to me. Junior Seau fired up, wearing short sleeves too. How about that? That's probably the only uniform. Now I see some guys out there. Gil Bird has on long sleeves.
Junior Seau says he doesn't even hear the crowd when he's out there playing. He's so focused. This pass complete from Tomczak to Mark Bavaro, the tight end. And Mark Bavaro doesn't catch a lot of passes for Cleveland, but when he does, it's usually good for some good yardage and in some clutch situations.
And I got to tell you something, he's awful courageous. Of course, you football fans out there, even as far as San Diego, know Mark Bavaro and his exploits as an ex-Giant also. But he has a bad knee, man. And I saw him in the training room yesterday taking care of that knee. It hurts him, but he doesn't complain. He just gets out there. Real tough guy.
There are good days and bad ones for Mark Bavaro, who has 2 Super Bowl rings with the Giants. Tomczak flushed out of the pocket, runs it out of bounds, and picks up some good yardage, maybe 7 or 8. A gain of about 6 for Mike Tomczak. And let's get a look at the inside linebacker for San Diego, Junior Seau.
Yes, Seau's reacting to Eric Metcalf first of all, and now with his speeds able to force Tomczak out of bounds, but not before Tomczak made a nice gain. Quickness, speed, intensity, what kind of range this man has. It's remarkable, sideline to sideline.
Seau told us he expects to be in on every play. That's the kind of thinking he goes in. Tomczak had to get rid of it in a hurry, and he was pressured by who else but Junior Seau, as the pass was intended for Eric Metcalf, so that'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
Well, the Chargers moved Seau around. Bill Arnsberger puts Junior Seau in different positions in various situations. This time he had him in a perfect position. There wasn't a blocker assigned to Seau. He was back there so quickly that Tomczak simply dumped the ball into the ground.
Well, he'll line up in as many as 4 different positions on that San Diego defense, and he credited the new defensive coordinator, Bill Arnsberger, for giving him the opportunity to turn him loose. And Seau is having an outstanding season again. Mike Tomczak complete to Lawyer Tillman for the 1st down. Sean Van Horst over there a little bit too late, so Cleveland picks up another 1st down. And this has been an excellent drive for the Browns.
I'll tell you, that offensive line of the Browns are doing a terrific job up front, led by Jay Hilgenberg, the center that they got from the Bears. Ed King at Pike, and Bob Dahl, who's playing at a guard position, used to be a defensive player, doesn't really have a lot of experience as the offensive guard. These guys are all giving good pass protection to Tomczak.
1st and 10, ball on the 30. Tomczak looks to his left, has Lawyer Tillman. Good for another good gain. Junior Seau out there to run him out of bounds. Well, in the 1st quarter, Cleveland not able to get anything going on offense, but in this drive, 65 yards alone, as the ball is just inside the 25-yard line of San Diego. The Chargers lead at 7-0, 8:17 left in the 1st half. The snow has subsided for the moment, but anything can happen on the shores of Lake Erie here. 2nd down and 4. Tomczak eluded one, but he is swarmed over by Sean Lee and Leslie O'Neal for the Chargers.
Well, so much for that excellent pass protection that Tomczak was getting earlier in the drive. These Chargers were all over Tomczak. Right now, penetration. Bert Grossman kind of forces Tomczak out of the pocket, tries to whip him down with his leg a little bit, and then Grossman has 2 friends come in and clean up on Tomczak. Leslie O'Neal certainly being one of them.
We'll see if the Browns can convert another 3rd down and long situation. 3rd down and 13. And believe it or not, the sun is shining here at Cleveland Stadium. An official timeout.
Browns need to pick up about 5 more yards here, 7 more yards. Even if they don't get the field goal, at least, or the 1st down, at least they may get in the field goal range. Right now, they are not in field goal range. At least I don't think so. That's a pretty good kick for Stover, the field goal kicker for the Browns. From here, it would already be about 50 yards. Jay Hilgenberg didn't like the way the football felt. Sometimes you get some mud on it, a lot of sweat on it, and I have seen some defensive players kind of do some things to the ball that you don't want to talk about.
Jay Hilgenberg has become the senior spokesman for that offensive line. They had that rough outing in the 1st game when they gave up 11 sacks, but it has been a excellent offensive line as the season has developed. Tomczak pumps once, and it's too late. Leslie O'Neal gets his team-leading 9th sack, and he'll bring down Tomczak, which will bring up a 4th and long situation, and the Browns will have to punt it away.
On the left side of the screen, Leslie O'Neal just beats Tony Jones, just gets right around the big offensive tackle in time to get the sack on Tomczak.
So an excellent drive for Cleveland. stalls on a couple of sacks by San Diego, and now Brian Hansen is back at his own 45-yard line. And that is Gil Bird, who is back in coverage, back to return it for San Diego, and he'll let it bounce into the end zone where San Diego will take it 1st and 10 when we come back. 40-yard punt. We'll be back in Cleveland in a moment. Chargers lead the Browns 7-0, 6:46 to go in the first half, and some of the brave Cleveland Browns fans watching their team. They're at home for the first time in almost a month, and they have watched the weather conditions change in a matter of seconds here at Cleveland Stadium. We opened up the kickoff in what resembled a blizzard, and then we've seen the snow, we've seen the sunshine at moments, and now the sun is hidden as San Diego takes over 1st and 10 from its 20-yard line.
Amazing. The Cleveland Browns weren't set. They didn't know what defense they wanted to have. The personnel wasn't out there correctly. Timeout. They had to call timeout.
May have been just 10 players on the field as well for Cleveland.
Inexcusable. They still have to have a defense out there. Had plenty of time to get it straight.
Bill Belichick, being his defensive coordinating roots, can't be happy with that at all. Well, coming up, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report from the cozy, warm, toasty studios of New York, where Bob Costas, Will McDonough, and Alan Pinkett reside. We'll have a look back at yesterday's exciting Notre Dame victory, as well as today's scores and highlights, all coming up on the NFL Live halftime report. 6:46 to go here in the first half. The Chargers up 7-0. Cleveland had put a good drive together on their previous series, but it was stalled by a couple of excellent defensive sacks on the part of San Diego. So now Stan Humphries, in his 3rd year out of Northeast Louisiana, takes over the controls once again for San Diego. Humphries, play action fake, wanted to go right side over to Anthony Miller, incomplete.
Intended for Anthony Miller.
Very nice coverage on the outside. You'll see number 24, Terry Taylor, in excellent position. Watch how he reacts to Miller right now, in beautiful position. The ball's high and outside, and that was a good thing because certainly Taylor was in position for the interception. You wonder how this weather affects the quarterback or the players. I'll tell you, your fingers get numb in this kind of a temperature. Your feet get numb. For a quarterback who doesn't have the feel of the football as it normally have under warmer conditions. But hey, we saw Bobby Beathard, the general manager of the Chargers, before we came up here, and Bobby told us that he went for a run this morning and broke a sweat. So he's going to relay that to his players and tell them, hey, it's not that cold out there.
Well, San Diego has been called for a holding penalty. It was the center, Courtney Hall, so that'll bring up 1st down and 20 from the 10-yard line for San Diego. And the crowd in the dog pound has begun to act up. Snowballs have come onto the field, and we've seen that happen here at Cleveland Stadium before.
I'll ask the fans to refrain from snowing snowballs, or we'll have to change ends of the field.
The old snowball warning for the dog pound.
Our fans to enjoy today's game.
Behave.
However, incidents of excessive alcohol abuse, any drug use, foul indecent language, throwing any objects off the stands, including snowballs.
Some late Halloween costumes sported by the dog pound, and 1st and 20 now for San Diego.
I don't think so. I think that's the way the guy really is.
A couple more snowballs make their way onto the field, but San Diego gets this one off as Marion Butts gets no more than a yard. The big left end Rob Burnett, along with the middle linebacker Mike Johnson, on the stop for the Browns. Not a huge crowd here at Cleveland Stadium, but when you're backed up in that end toward the dog pound, things can get ugly in a hurry.
And the noise that they create, you know, the noise is a problem for communications for the quarterbacks. Humphries trying to call audibles in his plays can have a problem.
Ronnie Harmon is in the offensive set, and he'll get the pass from Stan Humphries on 2nd down and 18, but it'll be well short of a first down. David Brandon made the stop, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 15 for San Diego. Stan Humphries started just 5 times in his career in Washington under Joe Gibbs' system, and told us that under that system a quarterback really never has a chance to mature and develop because the #1 quarterback gets all the starts in practice. So Stan Humphries has developed well here in his early career in San Diego. He's got 3rd down and 15 here. And it's complete to Harmon, who tried to get to the first down marker, but he'll be short, and that'll bring up 4th down.
A flag on the play. Steven Moore making the tackle for Cleveland.
A flag has been thrown.
Yeah, one was thrown a little while ago, too. We didn't know what it was about. Maybe we'll find out what this one's about. Oh. Good news for the Chargers, bad news for the Browns.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds by the defense, number 31. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Big 15-yard penalty. Let's see if we can see who made the late hit for Cleveland, and that will give San Diego a first down.
Well, Frank Minifield, 31, is the player that gets called for the infraction, even though it was it didn't look like a hard hit, but it was out of bounds. 31, you see, was called for the penalty, Frank Minifield.
Minifield is 31. Eric Turner, number 29, was also in the vicinity, but a costly penalty for Cleveland, and it's now 1st and 10 for San Diego. Ronnie Harmon doesn't find anything up the middle, heads to the right side for a first down and more. Before free safety Vince Newman forced him out of bounds, and Ronnie Harmon has more moves than most people in the NFL. He can really fool a defense.
But check it out from behind the defense. There's nothing up the middle. They have him blocked off, but check out the speed now as he gets outside. Players on the Chargers admire Ronnie Harmon not only for the way he carries that rock and catches it, but the way he carries himself. He's quite a leader.
Ronnie Harmon will take a rest on 1st down and 10. Ball on the Cleveland 42-yard line. As Dwayne Young, the tight end, in motion, Marion Butts strung out by the Cleveland defense, and he may have lost a yard.
I don't know why you want to send Butts east and west. I mean, he just doesn't have that kind of speed to be running east and west. He should be heading up the middle. Rob Burnett strings the play out, number 90 on the left side of your screen, as well as David Brandon. But you'd think that Butts, with his kind of power, would stay toward the middle of the field rather than get called to run a sweep type play.
Well, this Cleveland defense had quite a week last week. They held Houston to just 2 first-half first downs and really enjoyed their best game of the season as they totally dominated Houston. But different conditions and a different offense to prepare for today as Stan Humphries throws, and it's complete to Anthony Miller.
Humphries pass completed to Anthony Miller.
And he'll pick up the first down. David Brandon forced him out of bounds, so San Diego moves the chains.
How do you let Anthony Miller on the left side of your screen get open? Now Humphries finds him, but geez, he's the kind of guy that you're going to key on. There wasn't a defensive player within 10 yards of Anthony Miller when he caught that pass.
Number 1 draft pick Anthony Miller out of Tennessee just 5 years ago. The delay to Harmon. He's brought down by the veteran out of USC, Clay Matthews, the 5-time Pro Bowler, the oldest starting defensive player in the NFL at age 36.
And he was one of the defensive players that Stan Humphries, quarterback of the Chargers, pointed out. Says, hey, Clay Matthews doesn't look like he's lost a thing. He's been around forever, but he's in great shape. A wily linebacker, knows what's going on out there, and still has the speed, still has the quickness to make the plays.
Gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 for San Diego. The 8th play of this drive. Humphries with a deep drop. And he wanted Anthony Miller, but the play was broken up by the right cornerback Terry Taylor. So an excellent play for the 9-year veteran out of Southern Illinois.
Terry Taylor's doing some coverage. Look, he's right here with Anthony Miller. I mean, that ball wasn't badly thrown, but Taylor is all over Anthony Miller. Look at 24, how he reacts on that soft turf. He's able to get footing to close on the pass.
Third down and 8. Everson Walls has joined the nickel package defensive secondary for Cleveland, the former Giant and Cowboy. And Humphreys on third down and 8, going for the end zone, and Anthony Miller, it is overthrown. Terry Taylor once again had excellent coverage on Miller.
Intended for Anthony Miller. Terry Taylor on coverage for Cleveland.
Well, the Browns tried to blitz that time, but Humphreys got nice pass protection. Here you'll see that Miller appears, well, heck, he never appears to be open. Maybe late, and the only time he came open late is when Terry Taylor just quit on the pass. He saw it was an overthrow.
Well, John Carney has come out to attempt a 48-yard field goal. He's 3 for 3 from this distance this season, but there are some swirling winds out there, and the play is blocked. The ball was blocked. It appeared it was a good hold, but the ball never quite got over the line of scrimmage. So a 48-yard field goal attempt by John Carney is thwarted, and the Chargers come up empty-handed. Chargers lead it 7-0. 2:25 left in the first half.
Of the defensive line, number 97, Ernie Logan. He's only 6'3". He really doesn't get off the ground, but watch his right arm. Left arm 97, he gets up, and the low trajectory of the kick is blocked. That was a bad kick by Carney. I mean, it was too low to even get over the 6'3" defensive lineman.
So the 48-yard field goal attempt by Carney, no good. San Diego still leading it 7-0, and the Browns with a chance to try to get some points on the board before halftime. This is Eric Metcalf for about 5 yards, brought down by the left end Bert Grossman. And the Browns will employ the hurry-up offense as we approach the 2-minute warning. Tom Zach and Cleveland will not get the playoff. The 2-minute warning here in Cleveland Stadium. The San Diego Chargers up 7-0, and we'll be back after these words from your local station. Yo Pizza NFL Live halftime report coming up. Bob Costas, Will McDonough with special guest Alan Pinkett in the cozy New York studios. Scores and highlights at halftime. The defensive coordinator for San Diego in his first season, Bill Arnsparger, who's been in the league a long time, but this is his first trip back to the NFL, Joe, in some 8 years.
Yeah, I remember playing against his team when he was the head coach of the New York Giants. We had a tough sudden death game with him up at the elbow. We came out on top, but I'll never forget talking with Coach Arnsparger after the game. What a gentleman. And he came over to our locker room just to let me know what he thought of the performance I had that day, which I've always treasured.
Well, Arnsparger's defense is the second best in the NFL, the #1 defense in the AFC, and the #1 defense against the run of the NFL. Tom Zach hurried, throwing downfield, intended for number 83, Mark Bavaro. Darren Carrington was in on the coverage.
Good coverage downfield by these Chargers. Excellent coverage, and then the pressure forces Tom Zach out of there, and this pass is nearly picked off. Check this out. Yeah, Carrington makes a diving effort, just can't hold on to it.
The Chargers' top pick, Chris Mims, the left end, was pressuring Tom Zach. That'll bring up 3rd and 5. Tom Zach for the big wideout Michael Jackson, who uses all 6'4" of his frame to stretch for that one. Very close to a first down. Gil Bird, the veteran cornerback, on the coverage, and they may want to take a measurement.
What do you do if it's about an inch short? Huh? 4th down and an inch on your own 40. 135 left. Do you go for it? I mean, it's only an inch. Shucks,
Well,
who couldn't make that?
Only an inch has turned into a first down.
Okay, well, shucks. I was kind of looking forward to that decision.
So no decision time for Bill Belichick, as we have a minute 35 left in the first half. The Browns scoreless in the first half so far. Now 1st and 10. Zach is hit from behind as he releases it. Lawyer Tillman made the catch at the 20-yard line. A flag on the play. Sean Van Horst may have been called for the interference, so it looks like the pass connection will stand. 42 yards to Lawyer Tillman.
That's the big play that Mike Tomczak was talking about, made by his wide receivers. He said, hey, my guys are big, 6'5", 6'4". We've got to get them one-on-one, put the ball up and let them make the play, and Lawyer Tillman made the big play.
Van Horst filling in for Tony Blaylock.
Defense number 25.
And he gets called for the interference there, and I don't think there was much of a question.
Well, that was a good play one way or the other. I mean, that was just a fine catch by Lawyer Tillman.
So with a minute 18 left in the first half, Cleveland down at the Charger 18-yard line. They trail at 7-0. Tillman already 4 catches for 69 yards. None have been bigger than that one. And Tom Zach, that's intended for Sean Collins, and some close coverage there by Donald Frank.
My goodness gracious, they got away with something that time. Cleveland still has 2 timeouts left on the clock, so time really isn't an issue here. But check this up top right of the screen. Does Frank get there before the ball? He's climbing all over his back. My goodness. You folks down in San Diego, write that down as a good break.
Well, Van Horst was called for it. Donald Frank not called for it. So that'll be 2nd down and 10. A minute 14 left. Browns with a couple of timeouts. This is Eric Metcalf for pretty good yardage.
Eric Metcalf, the ball carrier.
And that'll take it down inside a minute for Cleveland. They have the 2 timeouts left.
The tackle by Leslie O'Neal.
3rd down and 4. And an injured player for San Diego on the field, so that will stop the clock with 54 seconds left. That could be the free safety Darren Carrington, who already has a 71-yard interception return, what set up San Diego's first touchdown of the game. Indeed, it is Darren Carrington who is down. 3rd down and 4 it'll be for the Browns with 54 seconds left. And next Sunday here on NBC Sports, following the 12:30 Eastern Time NFL Live festivities, many of you will see the Browns take on the Minnesota Vikings. Cleveland taking to the road again after being home for just the first time in a month. Colts at Pittsburgh, and in the second half of our doubleheader, Denver and the Los Angeles Raiders in a classic AFC West game. Darren Carrington just shaken up on the play. He was really hit.
Well, number 29 just gets his bell rung. It looks like, look, oh my goodness, he got hit in the head from Leslie O'Neal maybe, but I saw his head jar back, and he appears to be in good shape right now. He's going off the field under his own power, and I think we're going to see him back in the game.
7th play of this drive for Cleveland. The big 42-yard pass play to Lawyer Tillman. has set this opportunity up with just 54 seconds left in the first half. Cleveland still with a couple of timeouts, but they need to convert the 3rd and 4 here if they're going to have any thoughts of getting into the end zone. Eric Metcalf is stopped cold at the line of scrimmage, got loose, but Junior Seau there was able to wrestle him down. So that'll bring up 4th down and the field goal unit for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, Coach Bill Belichick and his offense tried to fool these Chargers. Check out the pit. Now you'll see the Chargers really make an aggressive charge up there and just shut off any avenue of any kind of running room for Metcalf. A surprising call to these Cleveland Brown fans, especially since it didn't work.
So Matt Stover in to attempt a 36-yard field goal to try to put Cleveland on the board for the first time. The clock is stopped with 13 seconds left.
Timeout. It's a 40-second timeout.
And the Chargers have called a timeout with 13 seconds left. So they'll have 1 remaining. And they may get some time to try to attempt something of a Hail Mary status if they get the ball back in the kickoff. So Stover is iced down a little bit here in Cleveland Stadium, and you don't have to call a timeout to ice anyone down. It is cold out there. The winds have swirled all afternoon. Sunshine, intermittent snow. We've seen it all, and the Cleveland Browns practiced in it all in 1 day this week.
Yeah, they practiced indoors yesterday, those rascals. They didn't want to get back out in the elements.
I believe it was on Thursday or Friday, Joe, and Bill Belichick said they saw sunshine, hail, sleet, snow, all the weather conditions in just 1 practice day, and that's what we've seen most of the day here. So here's Matt Stover again to line up the field goal attempt, and it has enough leg, and it is good. So the Cleveland Browns on the scoreboard didn't get the touchdown they may have wanted, but they come up with a field goal to pull within 7-3 of San Diego. Just 7 seconds left.
And that was some kick. Under these conditions, the wind conditions and all, Stover hit one fine kick to get it through those uprights.
So now with just 7 seconds left, the San Diego Chargers will attempt to get a return game, which may put them in position to attempt 1 Hail Mary, but 7 seconds is not a long time. There is Stan Humphries warming himself on the sidelines. You mentioned the weather conditions, Joe. They're difficult.
They are. The wind is gusting. It plays tricks on the football. You see the football started to the outside of the upright and then it's gently found its way back through almost to the middle.
Excellent pick by Stover, especially in these conditions, and Bill Belichick has not been overly happy with the field goal unit this year, from the snap to the hold to the kick, but under these conditions, that was an excellent field goal by Matt Stover, which has made it 7-3, and he'll pound a low flyer down the middle of the field where the up back Ronnie Harmon takes it. And with 3 seconds left, the Chargers will have most likely 1 play before both teams head to the locker room. And a reminder, with just a few seconds left, coming up on the NFL Live Domino's Pizza halftime report, Bob Costas and Will McDonough along with Alan Pinkett. We'll have all the scores and highlights of another busy day in the NFL. I can't believe it, Joe. We're already in the 10th week of this season. It has really flown by, and a lot of these scores will have implications to the upcoming playoff drives for most of the teams, as San Diego just simply runs out the clock. So San Diego in chilly Cleveland Stadium, not exactly the conditions that they're used to, take a 7-3 lead on the Cleveland Browns, and we'll head to our New York studios now and Bob Costas.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
Okay, welcome to those of you watching the game from Cleveland. Alan Pinkett is our guest in the studio this week. OJ will be back a bit later today. Will McDonough in between. We'll get to them in just a moment. First to the scoreboard. Almost halftime at the Metrodome. The Vikings lead over the struggling Oilers 10-3. The Oilers are 5-4, but they've lost 3 of their last 4. Vikes, meanwhile, a strong 7-2. Houston having typical problems, typical of late at least. Here's Haywood Jeffries. He'll drop this one from Warren Moon, and they're forced to punt in the first quarter. Later on, they drive into Viking territory. Moon completes it to Ernest Givens. Ball knocked free by Carl Lee. Jack Del Rio recovers the fumble from Minnesota. Another opportunity snuffed out. Now the Vikings punt. And Harry Newsom's punt will be mishandled by Webster Slaughter at his own 10-yard line. And then the ball bounces out of the end zone, perhaps helped out of the end zone for fear the Vikings would recover for a touchdown. They rule it a touchback rather than a safety, and the Vikings weren't pleased by that. Later, Houston is able to drive into Viking territory, but there's Lorenzo White, stopped for a 2-yard loss on 3rd and 6. Warren Moon obviously disgusted. The Vikings lead 10-3. Anthony Parker, a 58-yard return of a Moon fumble for the game's only touchdown. The Vikings have 5 defensive touchdowns in the last 2 weeks plus. They had 2 of them each of the previous 2 games and 1 today. They scored only 2 touchdowns directly on defense all of last season. They lead here by a TD. Kansas City has increased their lead at home over Washington to 28-0. Harvey Williams just scored on a 5-yard run. Christian Okoye has 2 touchdowns. Dave Craig a 44-yarder to Tim Barnett. The Redskins at 6-3 are really having troubles offensively, down now by 4 touchdowns. Green Bay at home, actually at County Stadium in Milwaukee, leading 14-3 over the Eagles. A look at Randall Cunningham's numbers as he returns to the starting lineup. He has completed 9 of 17 in the first half for 59 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Hasn't gotten them into the end zone. They're down by 11 at the half. Pittsburgh at 6-3, leading the 2-7 Lions 10-7. This one is almost at halftime at Three Rivers. Snow falling there. San Diego and Cleveland, the game you folks are watching. The Chargers on the Stan Humphries 26-yarder to Sean Jefferson in the first quarter, leading 7-3. Chargers 4-5 and the Browns 5-4. Cincinnati and the Jets, they've just gone to halftime, and it's a 10-0 score in this one at Giants Stadium in the Meadowlands. The Jets at 2-7, leading the 4-5 Bengals. Atlanta is home at the Georgia Dome, and a field goal by the Cardinals has just tied this game up at 10 apiece. Both these teams are 3-6. Phoenix, however, has won their last 2 in a row. Almost, they actually have gone to the half, tied at 10 apiece. And New England and Indianapolis at the Hoosier Dome just a few seconds before halftime there, and they're tied at 14. That is Scott Zolak. They have to turn it to him at quarterback with Tom Hodson and Hugh Millen both hurt. Clarence Verdun taking the Sean McCarthy punt for the Colts and bringing it back for the touchdown, making it 7-0 in the first quarter. The Patriot defense, however, was able to even the score as Jeff George's first pass of the day was intercepted by the cornerback David Poole, who brought it back 41 yards for the touchdown to tie it at 7. A bit later on, Kevin Turner will fumble, and it's recovered by the Colts. That's Zolak's dad, Paul, a high school football coach who actually coached Joe Montana, looking on with dismay about that, but pleased a bit later when Ben Coates latches on to the 2-yard touchdown pass from Zolak, and they're tied at 14 almost to halftime. Alan Pinkett, let's talk about the Vikings and the Oilers, and just from the group of plays that we saw, we see that the Oilers' execution problems continue.
Yeah, it's just they're simply beating themselves. You know, the drop balls, there's such a premium put on the drop balls that these guys, there's that pressure on them to catch the ball. And when they miss it, they feel the blame. But the good thing is that in this offense, the receivers have an excellent opportunity to redeem themselves because they're going to get 5 or 6 more balls thrown to them.
Well, let's talk redemption. On a drive which is just completed, the Oilers have tied the game at 10 apiece. Moon was 7 for 7 on the drive and capped it with a 5-yard TD pass to Ernest Givens.
Well, Bob, let me point out something. You got to give Minnesota's defense credit. They're the kind of a secondary that you drop a lot of balls against because they hit you hard. They're probably the fastest defensive team in the NFL, and when they get to the ball, they try to strip you of the ball. This is the way they're coached out there in Minnesota this year.
Time for us to step aside. When we come back, we'll take a look back to yesterday's game between Notre Dame and Penn State, played in the snow at South Bend. We'll do it after these messages from your local stations.
Low-scoring game with these teams. I don't think anything's been decided yet. There's been one good half of football. The Chargers certainly, they have the lead, but the game's ahead of us. I think we're going to see the outcome of the game be decided the second half.
Well, we've seen Mike Tomczak already throw a couple of early interceptions, so the first part of the game, the tone was definitely set with teams just exchanging turnovers, and the big one was the interception by Darren Carrington of San Diego.
Right, but the passing game is still going to be the weapon of these offenses. Neither one of these teams are going to sustain the ball on the ground against the other's defense.
And the Chargers kick it off where Randy Baldwin, about a yard deep in his own end zone, takes it out, and he'll get it across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. A late flag has been thrown after a return of 22 yards. Marquez Hope in there on the stop for San Diego. And it is against San Diego. So
Face mask on the kicking team during the return. 5-yard penalty only. First down.
So that'll bring it out 5 yards to the 27-yard line. And here are the Keystone Light halftime stats. We mentioned the turnovers by both teams, a couple early, but they've settled down a little bit. Other than that, pretty even. The Chargers were able to get the touchdown and they lead it 7-3 as Cleveland comes out at its first series. Kevin Mack bolts ahead for about 5 yards for Cleveland. Burt Grossman made the stop for San Diego. So Mack, the 8th-year two-time Pro Bowler out of Clemson, gets a good gain of 5. Kevin Mack with 50 career touchdowns. He's been in this league a long time, and just another one of the many running weapons that Bill Belichick has back there. Kind of the elder statesman of the running backs now that Metcalf and Bardell are being mixed into the scheme as well. On 2nd down and 5, this is Mack again. Maybe a yard or two that time. Leslie O'Neal, the right end for San Diego, made the stop. I want to update an injury earlier in the game on Michael Dean Perry, the Pro Bowl defensive lineman for Cleveland. He limped off the field with an injured knee. They took him underneath the stands to take x-rays, and as soon as we have a further update on that, we'll pass it along to you. But we have heard that his return to this game is doubtful. So the Browns defense will miss him. You can bet as this game develops. 3rd down and a short one. Mack will get his 3rd straight call, and he'll get the first down. Stanley Richard made the stop for San Diego. So Cleveland on its first series comes out, moves the ball, and picks up a first down.
Good penetration that time by this Charger defense, but Mack was able to pick his way through the hole, get the first down. That's 3 straight running plays that they're able to get it. Watch the pit. Now look at that penetration over there on the right side by the Chargers, but there's Mack finding just the slightest crease to sneak through.
At the 39. Play action. Tom Zach, Lawyer Tillman, first down inside Charger territory. Gil Burr, the left cornerback, made the stop. Lawyer Tillman, the big play man, which set up the field goal for Cleveland. With just seconds left in the first half, comes up big again.
Well, the play action fake freezes the linebackers and allows Tillman to get in behind them with a one-on-one coverage on Bird. Bird closes well, but he has no underneath help to try to deflect that type of pass. Good play action fake.
5 catches for 82 yards for Lawyer Tillman. 1st and 10. Mack for no gain.
Kevin Mack, the ball carrier.
And he's brought down by Burt Grossman, who had help from the left outside linebacker Henry Rolling.
Big George Thornton's in there too. This defense of the Chargers, loaded with like 7 number 1 picks or so, have just been playing well. They played well all season long, as a matter of fact. Even through the 4 losses, they had pretty good games. It's their offense that wasn't able to get going at that time. Look at that. They haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in 21 games.
And that's the number 1 defense against the run of the NFL of defensive coordinator Bill Arnsparger. And here is Eric Metcalf, who gets some good yardage across the right side.
Eric Metcalf, the ball carrier.
He had the 2nd down and 10 carries, so that'll bring up 3rd down and about 7 or 6. Junior Seau on the stop for San Diego. So Cleveland comes out with a rather conservative First series drive here to open up the second half.
Well, I don't think they're going to stay on the ground here. 3rd down and 7. They'll be hoping for a lot to be able to bust Metcalf through there on some type of draw, or maybe go to a screen pass, but I think he's going to go downfield with this next one.
Metcalf is in the backfield. Michael Jackson went in motion, and they try to get the screen off to Metcalf on the left side, but it was deflected by Leslie O'Neal, who already earlier this game picked up his 9th sack of the game. So he once again makes his presence known to Mike Tomczak.
Oh, Leslie O'Neal, his defensive backs just love that kind of play. They'll come up and say, nice going, Leslie. Watch him get his right hand up there and swat the ball into the air. And for the Browns, they're fortunate that it wasn't intercepted.
On 4th and 7, Brian Hansen back to punt to Gil Byrd. Earlier in the game, we saw Eric Bieniemy, but Byrd is in there now, and he'll let this one float over his head. It lands at the 2-yard line, takes a bounce into the end zone, where San Diego will begin their first series of the second half. 1st and 10 from their 20. The Chargers in a low-scoring game, up 7-3.
NFL on NBC is brought to you by Hertz's Fastest Service, now in more locations coast to coast. By Cold Filtered Keystone, Keystone Light and Keystone Dry. Bottled beer taste in a can, wouldn't that be great? By Prestone, it stops the rust that stops your car. And by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Well, is there a better place to be in Cleveland Stadium today, Joe?
Well, not if you're a Brownie, by goodness.
You're right. They turn out here. Rain, snow, sleet. They've had pretty much all of it today. And they trail at 7-3. Just start of the 3rd quarter here in Cleveland Stadium. 10:38 left. And the Chargers 1st down and 10 from their 20. And this is Marion Butts. Stop for no gain. Anthony Pleasant, the big right end for Cleveland, in there to put the stop on Marion Butts in his 3rd year out of Tennessee State. In fact, Mike Johnson nicknamed Anthony Pleasant the Stud earlier this season because he makes life easier on the linebackers back there. Real improving defensive end for Cleveland. He's got 3 sacks this year. Butts even lost a yard on that, so it's 2nd down and 11. Humphreys to Anthony Miller, complete. Gain of about 6, and that'll still bring up 3rd down and about 5. David Brandon on the coverage for the Browns. Anthony Miller struggled through an injury-plagued season last year. The 2-time Pro Bowler vowed to come back and have a better year. Michael Dean Perry back in the lineup for Cleveland after injuring his knee in the first half. He was listed as questionable coming in to the second half play, but he's in the defensive unit for the Browns on the 3rd down conversion, and Derek Walker makes the catch for San Diego, but a flag is down at the 45-yard line, so we'll see if that'll bring it back. Frank Minifield on the coverage for Cleveland as the snow begins to swirl again.
I think this is going to go against the Browns. Nate Lewis was running downfield and had his jersey half removed from him. I think
on a day like today, you don't want to have your jersey half removed. A holding call against Cleveland.
But I don't know that the gain wasn't better than the penalty here. I think they're going to stick with the play because they got more yardage than the 5-yard holding penalty would give them.
Holding on the defense, number 28. The penalty is declined. 1st down.
That's what San Diego will do. They'll decline the penalty, so the pass play to Derek Walker will stand. And the Chargers have a 1st down at their own 41-yard line. They lead at 7-3. Marion Butts, again, no gain. Mike Johnson, the middle linebacker, was there to meet him, the defensive captain for the Cleveland Browns. Leads the team with 105 tackles coming into this game.
59 right in the middle of the screen, fights off the blocker and makes the play. He's getting some help, of course, from his defensive lineman up front. Michael Dean Perry back in there has got to lift this Cleveland Brown defense a bit.
Mike Johnson was the AFC's Defensive Player of the Month in October. Had a huge month. 2nd down and 9. Humphreys quick out to Ronnie Harmon on the right side. Trying to get loose for the first down, but he'll be well short. Eric Turner, the strong safety, able to wrestle him down.
The tackle made by Mike Johnson.
Eric Turner, used to being on the inside. The Chargers put Harmon on the outside there, and they have a one-on-one situation with a guy that's not used to being out there necessarily, and they pick up a little bit of yardage, 5, 6, 7-yard gain. That's one thing about this Charger offense these days. They utilize so many different formations and utilize their personnel so well as opposed to the past.
And now San Diego calls a timeout on the 3rd and 2. And we will step aside here and Chargers up 7-3. We'll return to Cleveland Stadium after these words from your local station. San Diego up on top of the Cleveland Browns 7-3, 7:46 left in the 3rd, and after a flurry of early game turnovers, both defenses have begun to dug in, and that has been the tempo of this game. Ronnie Harmon, the go-to guy on 3rd down for San Diego. Almost half of his receptions have been for first downs. He's the leading receiver on this San Diego team, and on 3rd and 2, Sean Jefferson to the near side. Harmon also in the offensive set. Humphreys takes a drop, and he's got Ronnie Harmon, and the Chargers have the first down and more as Harmon fights for extra yardage to the 42-yard line. Terry Taylor there to make the stop.
Well, Harmon comes out this way. Everson Walls, the defensive back, is not up there that fast. It looks like it should be a zone coverage, and you see Walls coming in a little bit late. Harmon being able to shake him off and make another first down reception.
Harmon, the #1 running back in receptions in the AFC. So important to the San Diego offense, especially on the long yardage situations and on 3rd down. This is first down and 10, and Marion Butts. Michael Dean Perry, who just entered the ball game a few moments ago, made the stop. We mentioned he had the knee surgery in June, then re-injured it in the first game of the season, and it has been tender all year long. But he is back in there.
Well, what an awful feeling it is out there to have a bad knee, being in the pits right there. Now, you're concerned with stopping the defense, the running game, but you've got to be concerned someone falling into your leg. I mean, it's a very uncomfortable feeling.
And with the snow beginning to fly again, Humphreys to pass just over the outstretched hands of Anthony Miller. And Taylor was on the coverage, and another flag is dropped. And a hold against San Diego.
You see, that's where these defensive linemen sometimes don't get credit. They create penalties. You create a problem. Not necessarily get back there on the passer, but because you've beaten your man, someone has to hold you and you get the penalty.
Ed Hockley, our referee.
I can't believe he's not wearing gloves.
Holding on the offense, number 98, 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
I don't know that number on the offense, 98. Did he say 98? They don't have an offensive lineman numbered 98. At any rate, Bobby Ross, head coach of the Chargers, isn't too happy with it.
Especially with his team at a 2nd down and 20 situation now.
2nd down, 20 from the Charger 48.
The 8th play of San Diego's drive. Humphreys pass deflected in and out of the hands of Mike Johnson. It was intended for Sean Jefferson, who has the lone touchdown catch of this game.
Check out the flight of this ball. When Humphrey releases it, it kind of just floats in the air. It either slips out of his hand, but it definitely ends up behind the receiver. You see that thing? Woo! Should have been intercepted.
Michael Dean Perry almost got a hand on that ball at the line of scrimmage. But Mike Johnson got a hand on it, deflected it away, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 20 for San Diego. Anthony Miller to the near side. Ronnie Harmon in as well. Humphreys has it all the time. Harmon gets it out of the backfield. And he'll pick up about 10 yards, but still well short of the first down. They needed 20, got maybe 10. As Harmon picks up another reception. And you can see he is a very busy man on first downs for Bobby Ross's San Diego team. Chargers 4-5 coming into this game, and another loss would dim their playoff hopes.
Let's check and see if John Kidd kicks this ball toward the sidelines, Dan. The field is awful sloppy down at that end, and the Chargers would love to be able to back Cleveland up close to their goal line.
Eric Metcalf stands at the 10. Hanging punt, falls at about the 6-yard line. Where did San Diego, were they able to get it? Yes, they were. Cleveland will be pinned down on its own 1. In fact, less than 1. The ball is being spotted inside the 1-yard line. What a punt by John Kidd. 42 yards, and San Diego recovers it. Cleveland will be pinned deep inside its own territory. Special teams for San Diego. John Kidd, the punter, pinning Cleveland deep inside the 1, and Darren Carrington makes the play inside the 1. He's already got an interception return for 71 yards. And comes up with a big play there, which has pinned Cleveland back. Mike Tomczak on the keeper there. So Carrington with a special teams tackle. The recovery down inside the 1. And the big fumble, big interception return was set up the Stan Humphreys to Sean Jefferson touchdown in the first quarter. And that has been the only touchdown of the game.
I tell you, that ball is so close to the goal line. Coach Belichick chose to call a quarterback sneak that time. He'd like to get his team a little bit of room out there to at least be able to run the ball without taking a chance of being sacked in the end zone. But in this situation, you're going to have one-on-one with your wide receivers, and it's a gutsy call, but I'd love to see him throw the pass.
2nd down and 10. Tomczak throwing from his end zone. Lawyer Tillman makes the catch at the 25-yard line. Floyd Fields on the coverage, but another huge gain and clutch catch by Lawyer Tillman, 25 yards.
I like the way Tomczak came to Tillman, too. Tomczak was trying to go down the left side of the field. Good pass protection. Here you see Tillman. He's going to break open in here and reach behind himself there to make a nice hands catch. But it was the pass protection and Tomczak coming off his original primary receiver being able to make the throw downfield to Tillman. Good move by Mike Tomczak.
6 catches for 107 yards for Lawyer Tillman. 1st and 10 from its own 25. Tomczak with a play fake, and it's tipped off a San Diego defender into the hands of Leroy Horde. It was tipped by number 57 Henry Rolling of San Diego. But Leroy Horde made the catch, and another 25-yard gain for Cleveland.
Hey, I'm not going to pretend like I know who this pass was intended to, because I don't. I saw about 5 white shirts out there on the left side of the screen. They get their hand on the ball right there. You see the white shirts, and it bounces to Leroy Horde. I guess you'd call that a good bounce for a Brownie.
It was intended for Horde, and the deflection wasn't enough to keep it out of his grasp. So another 1st down and 10. The ball at midfield now for Cleveland. This time, Tomczak will give it to Kevin Mack, and he is stopped for no gain at the line of scrimmage. 3:19 left in the 3rd quarter. George Thornton on the stop.
Big George Thornton, 300 pounds of muscle, strength. Hey, well, muscle, not all of it muscle. George likes to eat a little bit, but he's quite a player. Big George comes from my alma mater, Alabama, Dan. That's why I'm talking a lot about him. Big George.
Speaking of Alabama, they survived last night.
Yeah, these Chargers are looking to survive today in these weather conditions. I think they're not letting these weather conditions bother them too much. This defense is doing awful well.
Play is stopped. Flags come in from every direction. It was a 2nd down and 9 call.
You know, this Charger team's more mature. Used to be their young players here, there.
False start prior to the snap, number 66, 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
Tony Jones, movement on the Browns offensive line, the big left tackle out of West Carolina. So 2nd down and 14 for the Cleveland Browns. This drive started just outside of their own goal line, and they have moved it up to the 46. Tomczak has room to run. He'll pay the price at midfield, where he is met by Stanley Richard. Tomczak was really hit on the play. Stanley Richard, the 2nd-year man out of Texas, the Chargers' 1st-round draft pick from a couple of years ago. Tomczak knew he had some room, Joe, but when he got there, he paid the price.
Sure, he tried to cut it back underneath Richard, but you see Stanley being a wonderful athlete. The sheriff says, hey, don't you be coming my way. I'm going to stop you.
That's Stanley Richard. It's his nickname. He's out of Hawkins, Texas. 3rd down and 10 now. Tomczak back to pass, complete to who else but Lawyer Tillman, who is having a huge afternoon. Stanley Richard and Darren Carrington there on the stop, but Lawyer Tillman, what a story he's been in his 2nd year out of Auburn, plagued by injuries, holdouts. He even thought about giving up the game of football. He had a fractured ankle early in his career. This one good for 18 yards.
This is a big game for him, yard-wise, right? I guess he's over 100 yards by now. There it is, 124 yards. My goodness.
And every time the Browns have needed a clutch reception in big yardage, Tomczak has gone to Lawyer Tillman. Now 1st and 10. Mack has some room on the right side. Pulls his way over for a couple more. And with 35 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, Cleveland taking a big chunk out of the clock. That is Mack a bit shaken up after Blaze Winter made the stop. Blaze Winter is on the field. He's also hurt for San Diego. And we'll be back to Cleveland Stadium. The Browns are down, but they're threatening.
Kevin Mack wanted to take this ball up in the middle, but he bounces outside on the right side of the screen. 83, Mark Bavaro right there blocking 2 men, turning them in, affording Mack the chance to get around the corner. That's Mark Bavaro. What a blocker he is.
And that enabled Kevin Mack to get 5 yards. Mark Bavaro has given this team a sense of toughness, according to Bill Belichick. And right now, in a drive that began at its own 1, in fact, it was inside its own 1, the Browns are knocking on the door. Tomczak complete to Mark Bavaro. First down, Cleveland. Henry Rowley knocked him out of bounds. So not only can Bavaro block, as mentioned, Joe, he can pick up the big clutch reception.
Sure, he runs what we call a little arrow pattern straight out of his stance to the outside, beats the linebacker there, and Tomczak finds him. Sure-handed Bavaro, 6'4", 245, just a wonderful player.
Well, Bill Belichick says, we don't go to plays, we go to players. And right there, Mark Bavaro was the player. Cleveland threatening down 7-3. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
And this end of the field, but with the turf conditions, it's going to be tough running.
Already they've gone 84 yards. The 9th play of this drive. Play action. Tomczak looking, going for Michael Jackson. incomplete. Flag thrown in the end zone.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Michael Jackson reached out and may have pushed the defender. This could go against the Cleveland Browns. Aside from that, the pass was way late. Tom Zach was way late delivering the ball.
That looks like the preliminary indication. Sean Van Horst was on the coverage of Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson just appeared to throw a stiff arm out there to keep him off.
Tom Zach has come over to the sidelines to talk with Bill Belichick. And it was offensive interference against Cleveland.
Well, you take a look at Michael Jackson. He's going to reach back with a kind of a stiff arm once he makes his break. Now, you see, the ball should be coming, but the ball is way late right now. The ball should be out there. Watch his left arm right now, folks. He's going to, there you go. That's just a no-no.
No doubt about it. Michael Jackson called for the interference for Cleveland, and that'll push the Browns back to the 25-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 20 this drive, starting at the 1-yard line, and that'll make it even more difficult for the Browns, who had gone 84 yards. Now they're pushed back 10 more. Matt fighting for any yardage. Probably won't get any as Junior Seau made the stop.
Oh, that was some tough hitting out there. I heard that up here. I almost felt it. You know, one of the defensive theories these teams have is don't allow the offense the big play, the long gainer. If you can keep them from having the long gainer, the offense normally stops themselves with a penalty, with a fumble, some kind of turnover. And at this point, the penalty on Michael Jackson has severely slowed this Cleveland Brown drive.
And has put them in a 2nd down and 20 situation now, as Mack got nothing. Tom Zach, plenty of time, going to the right side for Michael Jackson, and this time he hangs on. Touchdown, Cleveland. And the Cleveland Stadium crowd has come to life. 24 yards, Mike Tomczak to the big 6'4" Michael Jackson.
Another one of those big plays that Mike Tomczak referred to earlier by his wide receivers. They need to make the plays, and Michael Jackson atoned for that penalty.
Matt Stover with a point after. And the Browns have gotten on the scoreboard with a touchdown for the first time today, and they lead it 10-7.
At the top of the screen, Michael Jackson, the Cleveland receiver, is one-on-one with Gil Byrd, 22. Gil Byrd's in good position, but Jackson runs the stop and go, and Tomczak delivers just past Byrd. What a nice catch by Michael Jackson. Tomczak wasn't quite sure. He gives it a pump for the stop action, and now he's going to get it downfield. That was the old stop and go. Beautifully thrown pass and a fine catch.
Michael Jackson with his 4th touchdown of the season comes from Mike Tomczak, and Cleveland on a 99-yard drive pulls ahead of the San Diego Chargers 10-7. And this is a short kick taken by Steve Hendrickson, the up back. Cedric Figaro made the stop for Cleveland. Another reminder coming up next week on NBC Sports. After NFL Live, which comes your way at 12:30 Eastern Time, Houston at Miami, Cleveland. This Browns team has another tough assignment next week. Has to go to the Dome and take on the Vikings. It's the Colts taking on Pittsburgh, and in the second half of the doubleheader, really an AFC West classic rivalry, the Broncos visit the Coliseum to take on the Los Angeles Raiders. Here at Cleveland Stadium, intermittent snow, swirling winds by the shores of Lake Erie, and Richard Brown, the injured player for Cleveland, will check with his situation when we come back. Here in Cleveland, San Diego has it 1st and 10 from the 34. Humphreys back to pass, and he'll go to Anthony Miller, the wide receiver. Clay Matthews, the veteran linebacker for Cleveland, made the stop. What a drive by Cleveland, Joe. It was stalled momentarily by the offensive pass interference by Michael Jackson. Brought it back 10 yards, but Cleveland able to punch it in with a big 24-yarder to Michael Jackson.
I don't think anyone out there in the Lightning Bolt uniforms or back in San Diego watching the game expected the Cleveland Browns to be able to go 99 yards against such a quality defense.
They lead at 10-7, 13:22 to play. Marion Butts fighting for first down yardage, and I believe he got it. He needed to get to about the 49, and he got just across it. Mike Johnson and Clay Matthews brought him down. As you can see, the snow swirling again. That was good for 6 yards by Marion Butts. And it's Butts again.
Marion Butts, the ball carrier, the tackle by Clay Matthews.
And he's
Mike Johnson
to midfield.
and Bill Johnson also on the stop for the
Oh, he's powerful. He's powerful. These last 2 plays, he was hit, Marion Butts, and he was able to fight forward for an extra 2 or 3 yards each time. Such power.
2nd down and 5. The ball at midfield for the Chargers. They trail at 10-7. Their only score of the game coming in the first quarter. And now they're faced with a tough drive with swirling snow and wind in their face. Humphreys, that is complete to Nate Lewis, and that'll pick up the first down. So the Chargers now at the Browns' 40-yard line and threatening.
I'd say right now, Dan, the conditions are at their worst. At least they're worse than they've been any other time in the game for throwing the football, because the wind has started to kick up now. Nice catch.
Nate Lewis in his 3rd year out of Oregon Tech. They didn't even think he'd be able to play this week. Suffered from a hip injury, but began to feel better as the week went on. And he has picked up the 1st and 10. Pass intended for Derek Walker, incomplete. David Brandon over there for Cleveland, able to break it up.
Good pressure back there on Stan Humphreys. Number 96, Jones, is going to force Humphreys to throw that ball a little early, and it's almost picked off. Nice positioning out there by David Brandon, a linebacker who used to be with these very same Chargers.
Brandon picked up in Plan B from San Diego last year. And now the crowd really comes to life on 2nd down and 10. The hardest snow we've seen all game. Humphreys in and out of the hands of Derek Walker, but a flag is thrown at the 42.
Derek Walker, the intended receiver. Penalty marker.
And that'll be holding against San Diego. So that should bring up the 2nd down and long situation for Bobby Ross in San Diego.
Sure, Bobby Ross said, hey, I like the job down there in Southern California. That'd be a good one to take, honey. We'll go down there
Holding
and get a
on the
suntan.
offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Eric Moulton was called on that time, the holding penalty. On the left side of the screen, number 77 gets his right arm around Michael Dean Perry. Once again, a play made by Michael Dean Perry's ability to beat the man in front of him. He gets held.
2nd and 20. The ball at midfield. Play action. Humphreys to throw downfield, and it's complete to Anthony Miller.
Humphreys pass complete to Anthony
They
Miller.
needed 20. The ball has been spotted at the 30-yard line, and that is exactly where the first down marker is.
That was a big-time pass by Stan Humphries. I mean, these conditions are not conducive to accurate passing. The ball's slippery, the wind's whipping around, and the footing is not good. Yet Stan Humphries stood back there and rifled that ball downfield. May very well have the first down. If not, it's just going to be a matter of inches.
Well, they'll come out and measure it to see if Miller had first down yardage. And it is very close, and San Diego does pick up the first down at the 30-yard line.
There's Miller at the top of the screen. Going down, he's turning around Terry Taylor a bit, but look where the ball comes in. I mean, with velocity, it got there with a sense of urgency. A big play.
Stan Humphries proving he's more than just a backup in San Diego, hanging tough in the pocket and delivering the strike to Anthony Miller. 7th play of this drive. Chargers at the 30 with a 1st and 10. Humphries looks to the left. Terry Taylor on the coverage, and it was intended once again for Anthony Miller. By far the rudest conditions of this game so far, Joe.
Right. Now this pass, kind of like the one Tom Zach threw earlier, a little bit late, is late. See, the ball ought to be coming in there right now, but you see Miller has to wait, and then it's up high. A misfire. Miller did have his man beaten there briefly.
10:26 left to play. The Browns had a 99-yard drive to give them a 10-7 lead over the Chargers, and now San Diego threatening from the Brown 30. And a handoff to Marion Butts.
Marion Butts, the ball carrier.
He'll get a couple.
By Anthony Pleasant. Michael Dean Perry and Clay
Charger
Matthews
offense,
the
9th-ranked offense in the league, and one of the things that Bobby Ross wanted to do in his first year with San Diego was once again establish the pass attack. And he's been able to do it, as Stan Humphries has passed for more yardage the last couple of weeks in the NFL than any other quarterback. 3rd and 6. Ronnie Harmon in the offensive set for San Diego. Humphries has pressure, gets away. He's going for the end zone. Anthony Miller was out there, but it is incomplete. Terry Taylor once again on the coverage. Miller was open, and if Humphries would have been able to pull the trigger just a second or two ahead of time, he might have had it.
Yeah, Miller gets downfield, and then with the scramble and all, he's able to be, hey, no one is on Miller to begin with. Reminds me of Bobby Orr, or Jimmy Orr in Super Bowl III waving his hand. Ball's just overthrown. Oh.
Well, now San Diego lining up what will be about a 44-yard field goal attempt. John Carney to attempt it. This would tie it. Making the hole for Carney was never able to place it down. So Carney never got a shot at the 44-yard attempt.
That's it. That's the weather. I mean, that's what happens. The ball slipped. The snap was right there, and he was just not able to hold on to it. Too slick.
So an impressive drive for San Diego stalls as John Carney was never even able to attempt this one. And his score remains Cleveland 10, San Diego 7.
Snap back to John Kidd, the holder, but John Kidd simply lost control of the ball.
So the Charger drive stalls. The weather conditions really having an effect on this game now, as Kevin Mack gets 5 yards for Cleveland as they take over.
In the fourth quarter, Minnesota 13.
Time running down, approaching the 9-minute mark left in the game. And you can bet Cleveland will try to expend as much time as possible in this drive. 2nd down and 4. And They keep it on the ground again to Mack. George Thornton, the right tackle for San Diego.
The tackle by George Thornton.
The Browns' first return home in almost a month here at Cleveland Stadium. Trying to hold on to a 10-7 lead. And suddenly the snow has subsided for at least a couple of minutes here anyway. But the field is plenty slick. There's some movement on the defensive line for San Diego, but is able to get back in. That pass is incomplete. Gil Byrd on the coverage.
Pass is incomplete.
Gil Byrd had a better shot at catching that pass than Comzak's receiver. In fact, I think Gil Byrd ran a better pattern.
That was intended for Mark Bavaro, the tight end, which has brought up a 4th down and 3 for Cleveland, and they will punt it away. And Brian Brennan, the former Brown, he played 8 years here in Cleveland, is back deep for San Diego. Pretty good punt by Brian Hansen. Drives Brennan back to the 10-yard line. And he is stopped inside the 15 and about the 13-yard line by Ron Wolfley. So the Chargers, with a chance to put another drive together, they trail at 10-7. Snowy Cleveland Stadium. The Browns, off the strength of a 99-yard drive, have taken a 10-7 lead over the visiting San Diego Chargers. We've had all sorts of weather conditions today, but this Cleveland Browns fans have braved it, along with San Diego coach Bobby Ross. And now this drive for San Diego will begin in its own 13. Humphreys, pass complete to Ronnie Harmon. And that should be good for the first down.
Humphreys pass completed to Ronnie
Terry
Harmon.
Taylor, the right cornerback, on the coverage for Cleveland. So Ronnie Harmon continuing to be an integral part of this San Diego offense. They had a drive stall just a moment ago, as Carney could not get the field goal up. Kidd could not get the placement down. And so the scores remain 10-7, 7:36 and counting to go in this one. Humphreys passing on first down again, and this time is passed behind Anthony Miller. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Earlier in this game, Stan Humphreys had his 9th touchdown pass of the season. That was complete to Sean Jefferson. It was set up by a 71-yard interception return by Darren Carrington. That has been all the points that San Diego has been able to muster so far. Cleveland added a field goal in the 2nd quarter, and then the touchdown to Michael Jackson in the 4th quarter. And that's where it is 10-7 as San Diego tries to move it up the field, and that one is complete to Ronnie Harmon. Will the ball come loose? It did. Cleveland football. Mike Johnson came up with a football for the Browns as Ronnie Harmon was stripped.
Check on the left side of the screen. The pass is completed, and then the swarm of tacklers will come in and yank that football loose. Harmon has one hand on it, but he's not able to maintain control as Stephon Moore just kind of rips the ball loose.
That is the 2nd fumble of the game for Ronnie Harmon. And it couldn't have come at a more crucial time. Mike Johnson with a recovery, and right now, Cleveland in business at the Charger 26. The reverse to Michael Jackson. Room across the 20. 10. Inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Cleveland.
some help downfield with beautiful blocking from Lawyer Tillman leading his way.
Gain of 21 for Michael Jackson, who's already got a touchdown catch to his credit.
Wide open field out here. Now that's Tillman on the left. You'll see Mike Tillman down there doing a good job of keeping the cornerback away from Michael Jackson.
Ball just outside the 5-yard line. First and goal for Cleveland. They lead at 10-7. Time running with 6:23 remaining. Flag on the play, and they'll stop this one.
That's a delayed game again. That's jeez.
Delay of the game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That'll push back Cleveland. Excellent call by Bill Belichick on the reverse to Michael Jackson, but just a play later, the Browns don't get the playoff in time. And that'll push them back to the 10-yard line. Where it'll be first and goal. Chargers just in time trying to get players off the field, and they do. They had too many on the field. Tom Zach, play action fake, incomplete. Intended for Mark Bavaro. San Diego was shuttling players off the field in droves, it seemed. At least 2 went off the field just before Cleveland was able to get off that snap. So Bobby Ross's defensive charge is a little confused on that play. And that'll bring up second and goal.
Second down and goal to go.
There's Bill Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers. Pitch to Matt. That'll bring up third and goal. Matt maybe got a couple.
I'll tell you, Floyd Fields made a picture tackle on Kevin Mack. Kevin Mack is a load, but Fields, who goes 6 foot 208, squares right up. Look at that hit. I mean, that is a fine open field tackle by Fields.
Fields' favorite player is Everson Walls, who plays for the Cleveland Browns. So he took a page out of Everson Walls' hitting book on that one, the second-year man out of Arizona State. And on third down and goal, running to his left and simply throwing it away. Lawyer Tillman was in the vicinity, but Mike Tomczak was just getting rid of that one, so that will bring up fourth and goal, and here comes the field goal unit for Cleveland.
Well, now we saw what happened on the last field goal attempt, that by the Chargers. The ball slipped right through John Kidd's hands. Here's a case where the footing isn't very good for the kicker. He's got to be very careful at how he plants to kick the ball. And of course, the holder's got to make sure he gets the snap properly.
Matt Stover trying a 28-yard field goal. The conditions on this field goal attempt are not as worse when San Diego tried it, and Stover hooks this one in. It is good. So Cleveland comes away with another field goal to take a 13-7 lead on San Diego. 5 minutes left.
Today's attendance, 58,000.
A very nice snap back there, this time by Brian Kitchen. A good placement, and Stover does his job. Check this out. Snap's perfect. Stover gets it up high and draws it back in there. A gentle draw, kind of like with a 5-iron, you know?
Looked like one of your 5-irons, Joe. You have that soft draw that Stover just used.
Yeah, but nobody ever hugs me when I get a good shot.
And you don't play golf in this kind of weather.
You're right about that. Well, you know, that's good news for the Chargers, more or less, to be able to hold these Browns to 3 points, because the Chargers can still score the touchdown and take the lead with an extra point. So the Charger defense did a good job after that turnover, holding the Browns to only 3 points.
Well, Ronnie Harmon fumbled it for San Diego, which gave Cleveland the opportunity. And he's in on the kickoff return team for San Diego, but as mentioned, The Charger defense able to hold Matt Stover to just a field goal. So with 5 minutes left, Stover kicks it off. And it is taken by the upback, Steve Hendrickson. And he'll get it across the 25-yard line to about the 27. And that's where San Diego will take over. Gatorade Ironman Triathlon coming up next Saturday here on NBC Sports at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Joe, I encourage you to try one of these.
I will. Next time I'm in Hawaii.
2.5 mile swim, and you get on a bike and you go about 112 miles, and then after that you run a 26-mile marathon to the finish line. I know you can handle that.
You know, the swimming part and the bicycling okay, but the running part, forget about it.
Well, all the great triathletes of the world assembled on the Kona coast, and it's coming up next Saturday on NBC Sports. The Gatorade Ironman Triathlon. 1st and 10, ball on the 28. 4:51 to go in this one. San Diego trailing Cleveland 13-7. And Humphreys will give it to Merriam Butts, who's got first down yardage and more across the 40. Eric Turner on the stop for Cleveland, along with Clay Matthews.
Well, I'd say that was a surprise call. I think everyone in the stadium's expecting passing attack at this point, try and get downfield. Humphreys cross him up. Look at a huge hole inside for Merriam Butts, and then he just does the rest.
Well, last week when San Diego fell behind Kansas City, they had an 80-yard drive and a 90-yard drive to make it close before losing on Nick Lowry's field goal. But now here's Merriam Butts on the first down call as San Diego is called upon with another long drive here with 4:08 left and counting in the game.
The tackle's made by James Jones, Mike Johnson.
Well, Coach Bobby Ross has got to feel now as his offense has to feel. It's in their hands. The clock is in their favor. Plenty of time to march the distance they need and score the touchdown if possible. So it's up to the offense at this point. The Charger defense has kept them in the game.
2nd down and 6. The Chargers working with 2 timeouts left. The ball at the 45. And that is Butts.
Merriam Butts, the ball carrier.
And that is impressive.
And that is a first down.
That is some good running and good blocking.
Merriam Butts, 6'1", 248 pounds. He's been a little bit less than 100% with that knee injury aggravated last week, but we can't tell by that today. He has been a workhorse and has come up with some big rushing chances today for San Diego as we approach the 3-minute mark. 1st and 10. And Butts again gets the call, and he's across the 45-yard line. Michael Dean Perry slanting in there to help on the stop.
You know, it's hard to relate to how a guy feels out there on the field. Michael Dean Perry could barely walk off the field there in the first half. He had that right knee of his re-injured. Awful painful thing. But here's a guy who comes off the field, regathers himself, and now he's out there doing a job. I mean, that takes a lot of guts, Coach.
Well, this drive, Butts has 4 carries for 27 yards. And on 2nd down and 8, Humphreys will throw. Way downfield, going for it all. Pass intended for Nate Lewis. Frank Minifield on the coverage, and he was there every step of the way.
Frank Minifield was there every step of the way, and he also had some help from one of his safeties over there, Vince Newsom. You see Minifield just off and running. Now, I'll tell you, Miller's speed is going to get him past Minifield, but the ball is just overthrown. Miller had to take a kind of an inside route because of Minifield's excellent defensive position.
3rd down and 8. Crucial play for San Diego. They trail it 13-7. Humphreys going for it all on 3rd and 8. Anthony Miller, touchdown, San Diego.
Humphreys pass complete to Anthony Miller, touchdown.
45 yards to Anthony Miller on the 3rd and 8 call. And that has tied it up at 13-all. The point after attempt pending.
Humphreys looks like he came back with the same play. He said, hey, I can throw it better this time. And sure enough, Miller responded by beating Minifield, and Humphreys delivered. Now the crucial extra point, Dan.
Crucial is right. 13 all tie. 2:05 remaining. John Carney lining up for the kick. John Kidd will hold. And this duo had some problems on just a few moments ago when they attempted a field goal. And actually it was the holder, John Kidd, who was never able to get it down for Carney on the field goal attempt. But this is the point after attempt, tied at 13 with 2:05 to go. This time the hold is down, and this time Carney connects. And that puts San Diego ahead 14-13. So Carney, I think all those guys were holding their breath on that one, including Bobby Ross.
I think the guys ended up hugging John Kidd for making the catch and then Carney for kicking it through. Anthony Miller, speed on the bottom of your screen. Number 83 splits the seam, then outruns Frank Minifield down the field. Minifield certainly is expecting help on the inside by a safety, Eric Turner, but Eric Turner didn't get back there either.
Anthony Miller with his 4th touchdown reception of the year. And an excellent throw by Stan Humphries. 45-yard touchdown from Humphries to Miller. 72 yards. It took only 6 plays and less than 3 minutes. There is 2:05 remaining here.
And like you say, Dan, less than 3 minutes, so that's the good news for these Cleveland Browns fans. The Browns still have 2 minutes and change to play with to be able to get either a touchdown or in go-ahead field goal position. This return is a major factor. You know, the Browns need to get a good return, and now kicking off into this wind is going to be a bit tough. I don't know how far Carney's going to be able to get the ball downfield.
Well, that is Randy Baldwin back deep. He's got a 24-yard kickoff return average. That is 2nd best in the conference. And not a bad kick at all. Oh, Carney, who takes Baldwin back into the end zone. We are at the 2-minute warning in Cleveland. The Chargers up 14-13. His team is 80 yards away from the end zone, but he also knows a field goal would win it. So the Cleveland offense doesn't have as far to go, but they have less time to do it in.
And Bobby Ross has his ace bunch out on the team, you might say. The strongest part of this team thus far, his defense. So he's got to feel pretty good about his chances.
From the 20, Cleveland trailing by 1. Tomczak pump fake, has his man, Lawyer Tillman. He's across the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 Cleveland. Gilbert on the coverage. The clock continuing to run 1:45.
What a catch. What a fine catch by Lawyer Tillman.
Lawyer Tillman already well over the 100-yard receiving mark today. Picks up the 1st down. 1:30 to go. Tomczak in and out of the hands of Eric Metcalf, and he was able to hold on. And he's dropped at the 41-yard line of San Diego. The clock running at 1:18. Darren Carrington made the stop on Metcalf. So 2 big plays, Tillman and Metcalf, and it's 1st and 10 from the Charger 41. 1:07 left. Delay. Leroy Horde left side, a flag thrown in the backfield, and that might be holding against Cleveland, and it is.
Oh boy, it appeared Leslie O'Neal was trying to break free to make the play, and one of the Browns had a hold of him.
Holding on the offense, number 66, 10-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
Tony Jones, the left tackle, held. So that'll push Cleveland back 10 more yards and make it 1st and 20. They were inside the Chargers territory at the 41. Now they're at their own 49.
just over a minute left. Cleveland trailing San Diego 14-13. And on 1st and 20, Tomczak sends Tillman in motion to the right side. Swings it out to Eric Metcalf. He's got room to the 40. Inside the 40, down to the 36. Fumbled the football. And San Diego has it. Stanley Richard recovered the football after Eric Metcalf fumbled it. And that may have ended Cleveland's chances.
Metcalf feels rotten. All these Browns do too. But I tell you, San Diego Chargers, give them credit. I mean, Metcalf didn't just drop this ball. It was kind of ripped loose here. Look at that. Richards gets a hand in there on the football to knock it loose. And then number 24, Stanley Richard, gets hold of it. I mean, number 29 knocked it loose. How many plays has Carrington made today?
He's made a lot.
Oh, my goodness. And there, of course,
the disappointment on Eric Metcalf's face tells it all. So with 52 seconds left, San Diego will just try and run it out.
I wouldn't even hand it off at this point. I'd take a knee.
Humphries hands it off to the sure-handed Marion Butts.
The ball carrier.
And Cleveland takes a timeout.
James Jones, David Brandon, and Michael Dean Perry combined to make the tackle on the last play.
So with 48 seconds left, San Diego leading Cleveland 14-13.
Let's take another look at the big play. Darren Carrington, 29, gets his left arm in there and jars the ball loose. And then Stanley Richards able to get over there and get it. I know everyone feels awful with the Browns, certainly Metcalf, but once again, Carrington, he has made some plays with the interception on the kicking game, the punting game. Carrington's been down there, and here he causes a fumble.
He's been all over the field for special teams for San Diego. As Joe mentioned, he had the 71-yard interception return, which set up San Diego's first score of the game. And right now, San Diego in control. 2nd down and 10 with just 48 seconds left to play. Humphries again, hands off to Butts. Rob Burnett makes the stop. And the Browns take a timeout. They have just one left.
I tell you, the play right now would be a bootleg play. I would make my quarterback fake that handoff, run a naked boot play. All right, say you don't get the first down. At least by the quarterback rolling out, you're going to chew up some extra seconds off that clock. Plus, you don't take the chance of making the exchange to the running back, the chance of the fumble.
All right, we'll see what Bobby Ross and Stan Humphries do on a 3rd down and 9 call. 44 seconds to go. To imagine that Cleveland will get the football again. That is if they can stop this 3rd down and 9 conversion, but they only have one timeout left, and with just 44 seconds to go, and the Chargers up 14-13. San Diego comes to the line, and Humphries gives it to Butts, who strings out the Cleveland defense along the left side to bring up 4th down. So San Diego will punt it away to Cleveland with 37 seconds to go. And the Browns with one timeout.
Well, the snapper has got to make a good snap. That being, of course, Sam Anno.
All right, it's time for the Hager wrinkle-free cotton super play of the game, and who else would get it but Anthony Miller, the touchdown toss coming from Stan Humphries. That tied the game at 13-all, and John Carney added the point after attempt to make it 14-13 San Diego. So Anthony Miller's touchdown catch, our Hager wrinkle-free cotton super play of the game.
All right, Eric Metcalf is standing at his own 15-yard line. John Kidd will punt for San Diego.
10 Browns up on the line of scrimmage. They're going to try and come after this one.
Long snap count. Short punt. Metcalf tries to get up to it, but it's going to bounce out of bounds where they will mark it at about the 29, but a flag is dropped
The punt is
way
bobbled
back
out
at the
of bounds.
40-yard
The
line.
Browns will take possession. First and 10 around the 29. A flag on the play.
And it goes against Cleveland.
Well, do you want to try and snap the ball again, because the first down is not going to be had by this 5-yard penalty, I don't believe. So the Chargers would still face a 4th down and about 1. I don't know that they want to risk another snap by Sam Anno. Maybe they just want to give Cleveland the ball at their own 29 with just 29 seconds left.
Well, the Browns are out of timeouts now with 29 seconds left. And San Diego will
Offsides on the
indeed
defense. Number 66. The penalty is declined.
decline the penalty.
First down.
So they wanted just to get the ball off, get it downfield, and force it into Cleveland's hands, where the ball is spotted at the 29-yard line, so they'll have a long way to go.
You know, Dan, I can't help but remember Bobby Ross telling us how important this game is to the Chargers. We looked at their future schedule. They have Tampa Bay next week, but they don't play a team with the winning record, I don't think, the rest of the way home. They hold on for this game. They've got a wonderful shot at making the playoffs.
The Chargers, who started this season off at 0-4, have won 4 out of 5 and are looking for the 5th win in their last 6 games against Cleveland. But the Browns had the ball, 29 seconds left, ball at their own 29. Tomczak firing wobbly pass, looked like he was either hit or it was deflected the line of scrimmage, intended for Sean Collins, but Tomczak slow in getting up on that one. Post-game report coming up. Old Spice, NFL Live post-game report with Bob Costas, Will McDonough, and O.J. Simpson coming up following the completion of this game. We'll have all the scores and highlights around the NFL. 2nd down and 10. 23 seconds left to play. The Browns trailing 14-13. They are out of timeouts. Tomczak is in trouble, and he'll be sacked at the 21-yard line with 18 seconds left. Blaze Winter, number 96, was back there to get him along with Chris Mims. Well, Tomczak has taken a beating in the last couple of plays, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 18. Less than 9 seconds. The clock running at 6 seconds left, and Tomczak has to put it up for grabs. And it was intended for Michael Jackson. Incomplete, so San Diego travels to Cleveland Stadium today in inclement weather and picks up a huge win, which will even their record up at 5-5. The Browns fall to 5-5. As San Diego wins it 14-13. Now you can stay tuned for the Old Spice NFL Live post-game report right after these messages. We're back at Cleveland Stadium, where just moments ago the San Diego Chargers put away a key win over the Cleveland Browns on their home turf here at snowy Cleveland Stadium in less than desirable conditions. The Chargers win it 14-13. Dan Hicks with Joe Namath. And Joe, it was a key win for the San Diego Chargers, who have evened the record at 5-5, and a big key play was the big touchdown pass to Anthony Miller.
Anthony Miller put his hand up and waved that he's going to run past the safety, and Humphreys delivered. He just missed on the play before, but came right back to him.
Anthony Miller's 4th touchdown catch of the season. It was the key play of this game, as San Diego very much alive in the playoff race now with a 14-13 win over Cleveland. We'll be right back.